Do you need to refresh your contracts? I'll tell you. Welcome back. Christina from the Contract Shop here. And today we're talking all about whether or not you need to refresh your contracts that you have with your clients and how to do that. We're about 2 weeks out from the end of the year if you're watching this video right when it came out. And now is a great time to revisit all of our client experiences and contracts as we look forward to the new year and think about how we could improve not just our bottom line, our revenue, but also the things that help to get us there, like our clients. One of the best ways that you can help your clients to feel really confident in the decision to work with you is to let them know that you're making some changes to the process, and that includes your contracts if that's applicable to you this year. So in addition to getting that cute new planner, maybe a new notebook, making all the goals, and gaining 5 pounds more or less on some cocoa spiced with peppermints, oddly specific. But now would be a great time to show those clients that you're still taking that work seriously, and on your side of things, if you need to increase your pay because you haven't given yourself a raise in 3 years, I'm looking right at you. Now is the perfect time to do all of those things. Specifically, if you've had 3 of these key client situations pop up, it's really time for you to refresh your contracts. The first situation that you'll want to pay attention to is whether or not you're being paid fairly and on time. Because if you haven't kept up with the rate of inflation or your services have outgrown your pricing, now would be a great time to revisit the new pricing structure that you're putting into place with your clients in this new year. If you're watching this later, don't worry, this works too on the first of a month, on the first of a quarter, on a Monday, on a new week, on a new whatever, a new moon, I don't care. Anything you want to use as an excuse to get paid more is awesome by all means, because it means that you'll actually start to enjoy the work that you're doing, and some of that resentment that maybe has started to creep in can go by the wayside. Maybe your pricing is good, but you haven't been paid on time, or clients keep running into issues with their invoicing. Now is the time to revisit that and revisit those clauses in your contract to make that really crystal clear for your clients. One of my favorite things to do with contracts is highlight those provisions that seem to disappear into thin air, those things that people tend to overlook after they've signed and they just forget about them. Those things that are really kind of annoying for you, but the client maybe or maybe not in good faith has forgotten about them. Either way, it can really help to remind people of your boundaries by reiterating them outside of the contract. Typically, this is done through several touch points in the client onboarding process. But if you've been working with someone for a while, now might just be a time to send a gentle reminder, and that could literally be your subject line. A gentle reminder that they need to pay on time, and this is how to pay, and this is why this is important for them and for you. Probably because their project needs payment in order to proceed and they want the results of their work with you. It's always helpful to frame it as a benefit to them, not just a benefit to you. The second reason it's a really good idea to revisit your contracts right now is because of scope creep or a lack of boundaries with your clients. If you found that your clients are asking for more and more little things here and there, and it's really adding up, or you find that you've specified to clients that you're only available during certain hours, but you seem to be talking to them outside of those hours or outside of the mediums that you agreed to communicate through. So for example, I only communicate with clients through Voxer or email. And so if someone communicates with me in a way outside of those, I have to be really firm and remind them that those are there for both of our benefits, because they're going to get the fastest service through those channels. They're not going to get the fastest service by going around them and texting me, because a text message gets read while I'm driving, sorry, and then I forget about it. The way that you'll know that there's some kind of scope creep popping up into your client relationship with this person is because you're starting to feel resentful. You're starting to feel icky. You're starting to dislike getting emails or messages from this person. It really just kind of like raises the hair on the back of your neck. That's a really good sign that you're either not getting paid enough or they're exceeding the scope of their agreement, which are kind of one and the same thing. And now would be a great time to reinforce that boundary, just help to remind them about it, and maybe even include it in a stronger worded way for your client contracts, current and future. The third reason you might want to refresh your contracts is because you haven't looked at them in quite a while. Maybe at the beginning you got it set up, it felt really good, but you haven't taken a peek at it in more than a year. No worries, now is a great time to put a focus on this. Buckle down for the next 30 minutes and just read through your contract like you're a current client, because if it's been a while, there's going to be some things that have changed because naturally you've grown as a business owner. I know you've grown because you're watching educational content like this. Congratulations. So it's time to look at that contract and see how it could be better worded, built upon, explained, all of the above. I know I'm an extreme example, but I actually look at my client contracts before I send them out to every single client. Even though I've worked with I don't even know how many. I've probably sent out over 250 client contracts. So that's a lot of reading my own contracts, but that's also kind of why I have a contract template store called The Contract Shop. So that is kind of extreme, but I would encourage anybody out there to at least look every 4 months or so. And if it's been longer than that, no worries. It's not the most fun thing in the world. I totally get it. Looking today is better than not looking ever again at all, whatever. Because just taking a peek at it, even though you're not a lawyer, even though you might not quote unquote know what you're doing, you know your clients, you know your business better than anybody else. Even a big fancy lawyer you could hire. So take a look at it through that lens. Look at it through the eyes of your client and ask yourself, how could this be better? How could I understand this better as a client who's reading through this and considering working with me, as a service provider? Not me, but like you. The next time you send that client contract out, that's the perfect time to take a look at that document and see how it could be improved, even if it's just a little tiny bit. So we've seen those situations in the first two reasons I gave you for some big improvements. And then in this last third reason, it's more of a feeling. You're going through your contract, you're seeing where maybe like sentences don't quite match up to how you would say them, or they don't flow as well as they could, or it's just not the way that you would want to talk to your clients now, or you want to include something a little bit different. That's totally fine. That happens. Your business, like I said, is growing and changing. So that's absolutely normal. And you should expect that throughout the course of the year working with clients and using the same contract. Now, if you don't have a contract or you've just kind of Frankensteined yours together through the internet, don't worry, I'm not here to judge you. But if you do want a more professional solution, we do have contract templates available at the Contract Shop. And if that might not be a possibility for you today, you can always check out rocksolidcontract.com, which is where we give you a checklist so you can compare what you should have in a client contract with what you actually have in your Frankenstein document. I love you at the end of the day, so don't worry about it. I can't wait to see how you have taken another peek at your contracts, so drop a comment below. Let me know if this video was helpful. We actually do read every single comment that you send in. It means the world to me when you do write something, and I can either make future content about it or we can further improve upon our content that we're currently putting out. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in our next video.